Hello again. So this section we're going to be covering graphing linear equations. And so we're going to be talking about things like y-intercepts and x-intercepts and so on and so forth. So a linear equation can be written in the form of ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So one thing I want you to notice is x is to the first power and y is to the first power. So if it's any other power, then it's no longer linear. And then we don't want a and b to both be 0 because we want at least one variable in the problem. So if x is the only variable in the problem, you'll see later that that's a vertical line. And if y is the only one in the problem, then you'll see that that is a horizontal line. So the x and y intercepts, like we talked about the other day, are the points where the lines cross the x-axis or the y-axis. So for it to be an x-intercept, your y value has to be 0. And for it to be a y-intercept, your x value has to be equal to 0. If at any time I go too fast, please don't hesitate to pause the video and go ahead and copy this down. So if a line contains the first point at x1, y1, and then the second point at x2, y2, then we have a slope that we use the letter m to represent. And we talk about that as rise over run. So rise deals with the y's, they rhyme. And so you're going to take the second y minus the first y, and then the run is going to be the second x minus the first x. So the standard form of the line is going to look just like what we talked about a minute ago. So that's ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. And this is really important, and it's going to be used later on, I think, in chapter 9, that we need a to be greater than or equal to 0. So I don't know if they talked about that in Algebra 2, so I just wanted to make that clear. So the x coefficient is never negative, and then we want the three letters to be integers, especially not fractions, no decimals. Okay, so standard form is helpful when you're graphing using intercepts. So I'm sorry about the video bouncing around a little bit. I'm still getting used to it. So we want to graph these two problems. So using x and y intercepts. So I'm going to teach you a little trick. So when we talk about the x-intercept, we said that we want y to be equal to 0. So we can either come up here and say that means that I have 2x minus 0 minus 6 is equal to 0. Or I could just come up here and cover up the y and then solve 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. So that means we have 2x is equal to 6 and x is equal to 3. So I have a point where x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 0, which would be right about here. And then for the y-intercept, same thing. We're going to say that x is equal to 0. So coming up here, if I cover up that 2x, that leaves me with negative y minus 6 is equal to 0. So if I add y to both sides, I get y is equal to negative 6. And so that means I have a point at x equal to 0 and y equal to negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be this point right here. Then our best bet is to get some sort of straight edge in here and go ahead and draw that line. So we are going to need some graph paper today. If you don't have any of your own, I do have a PDF of some graph paper that you can print out. So take a moment to pause your video and go ahead and answer number 2. So if I let my y equals 0, then that means this 2y would become 0, and I get 4x plus 8 is equal to 0, which makes 4x equal to negative 8, and x equal to negative 2. So I have an x-intercept at negative 2, 0. Okay, so then for my y-intercept, that means my x is equal to 0, so I would cover up my 4x, and I get 2y plus 8 is equal to 0, which makes 2y equal to negative 8, and that makes y equal to negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a y-intercept at 0, negative 4. And so then coming over here, I think I made a mistake somewhere. Hold on one second. So then I got So just to show you that everybody does make mistakes, I have this point here at negative 2, 0, and I graphed it at positive 2, 0. So I want to make sure that I have that at negative 2, 0. So hopefully some of you caught that and you were screaming at the screen. And so this one is going to be going down. And so if you're wondering why I knew that, if you notice here, this y is negative and this y is positive, so I knew these couldn't be going in the same direction. One had to be going up and one had to be going down. All right, so for that example, we were using standard form. Now we want to talk about slope-intercept form, and it's just like it says. So we've got y is equal to mx plus b, or because if m is defined, we know we have a function, we can say f of x is equal to mx plus b. So m is representing the slope of the line, and b is representing the y-intercept. And so let me pause. And I think on your paper, I changed this to 5x minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. If I did that incorrectly, just fix your paper. Okay, so I'm going to have an intercept. I've got a slope here of 5. That's the number in front of the x. And I have a y-intercept at -1. So the y-intercept is our starting point. So I'm going to start there. And then my x-intercept is my rise over run. So a positive rise means to go up, and a positive run means to go to the right. So from there, I can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the right 1. And so this is going to be my line. And then just to notice, since my slope was positive, as I drag from left to right, think of it as an escalator going up. If that didn't fit into my graph, I could take the opposite of the top and the opposite of the bottom, and I could have gone down 5, and I could have gone to the left 1, and that still would give me a point on that line. So take a moment to pause and go ahead and try number 4. So one of the things that you might be saying to yourself is I'm missing a y-intercept. So if you notice, I could say plus 0. So that means that I have a slope of 1/2 and I have a y-intercept at 0, which means this goes right through the origin. So that's why we didn't have a y-intercept looking equation. So again, a positive 1 means to rise up 1, and a positive 2 means to run to the right 2. You always follow the way the axis is running. So up is positive, and then to the right is also positive. So from here, we're going to go up 1 and to the right 2, and I can do that a few times. And if I wanted to, I could take the opposite of the top and the opposite of the bottom, which means I'm going to go down 1, and I'm going to go to the left 2. So down 1 and to the left 2 looks like this. And when I connect my dots, I'm a little bit off, but you get the idea. And again, my slope was originally positive, and my escalator should be going up towards the right. So there are 4 different types of slope for a line, and I've been kind of hinting at this for a moment. So notice that if the escalator is going up, whoops, sorry, hit the wrong button. If the escalator is going up, that's going to be a positive slope, in this case, positive 2. From left to right, if the escalator is going down, that's going to be a negative slope. So this has a slope of -1. If it is flat, think of it like if you're in an airport and you're on the escalator that just gets you somewhere faster but doesn't go up or down, it stays on the same floor. So that is a slope of 0. So we could call that 0x plus 3. And then we have this one like a rocket shooting straight up in the sky. I don't want to be on an escalator that looks like this. That would be really scary. So that is an undefined slope, and that is the only time you have something that is not a function. So if I tried to do the vertical line test, this would not pass it because all of the points would be on that vertical line. So anytime the slope is undefined, you do not have a function. So in order to say f of x is equal to mx plus b, the slope must be defined, and vertical lines have undefined slopes and are not functions. So let me just remind you, if at any time I'm going too fast, remember you can pause and you can replay, so feel free to do that. All right, so then the next thing we're going to talk about are the zeros of the function, and so that's the values of x for which the function is equal to 0. So it's also known as finding the x-intercept. So instead of using slope-intercept form to find the y-intercept, you're going to start at the x-intercept. And so what they did in the book, which I don't want you to memorize because you have enough things to memorize, they said that that's where this function is equal to 0, meaning y is equal to 0. And then they solved this equation and said when x is equal to -b over m, then you have a 0 of the function. So at negative b over m comma 0, you have an x-intercept. But I feel like we can calculate that so much easier instead of having to memorize that. All right. So looking at this equation here, notice the directions do say find the 0 of each function and then graph the function. So the 0 occurs when 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. We want y or f of x to be equal to 0. So if I solve that, I've got 4x is equal to positive 3, which makes x equal to positive 3/4. Now, I left this one in there so you could see I could try and figure out where positive 3/4 comma 0 is. It's somewhere about here. But that's not a very exact answer. So I'm going to hold off on that for a second and take a look up here. And do you see that negative 3 would be my y-intercept? So I know I have a point at 0, negative 3. And then I know I have a slope of 4. So I'm going to call that 4 over 1, which means that I can rise up 1 and run to the right 1. So from here, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. And when I put in my ruler, what should happen is that should go through that x-intercept, even though we didn't quite know where 3/4 would be on the number line. So take a moment to pause the video and try number 6 on your own, looking for the 0 of the function, and then you can use the slope from there. So if I set 2x plus 4 equal to 0, that means that 2x is equal to negative 4, and that makes x equal to negative 2. So I have an x-intercept at negative 2, and I'm going to graph that correctly this time. And then there's a couple different ways we could go about doing this. One is we could say that I have a slope of positive 2. So I could rise up 2 and run 1, and now I have 2 points for my line. I could also say I have a y-intercept at positive 4, so that should give me 0, 4 as a point. Or I could even do the opposite of the top and the opposite of the bottom, and that tells me to go down 2 and to the left 1. So I can do that a couple of times. And so until you feel comfortable to graph that line, you can do as many points as you want to, but they should be all on the same line. And so that is today's lesson.